I beat the Elden Ring DLC only using throwing daggers. Here's how it went down. With the introduction of the Shadow of the Erdtree expansion, we were given 8 new weapon types to play around with. Some are pretty good, while others, not so much. Among the new weapon types introduced are the throwing daggers, not to be confused with the other throwing knives. Those are items. These knives, however, are actual weapons. The difference being that these can be thrown indefinitely, and more importantly, they can be upgraded. Finally, a weapon type that specializes in medium range. Besides spells, of course. I can't wait to see all the cool types of, and there's only one. Yes, really. But I'm sure they made them really good, right? Right? Oh, I'm gonna regret this, aren't I? So this is either gonna be the best idea I've ever had, or the worst. We'll see how it goes. Now, surprisingly, the throwing daggers are pretty versatile. They can be infused with any type of damage. Their Ash of War selection is relatively diverse, and they are super easy to use, nothing complicated about them. But that's about everything good I can say about them. You see, the range of these things are not what you expect. You're telling me that my Tarnished character, the same person that can open those big ass doors made for demigods, can't throw a measly knife more than 5 yards. Yet somehow, that isn't even the main issue. The damage these things can output is just sad. Basically, we're fighting an uphill battle before we even begin, and this build I have in mind will hopefully carry me to victory. 60 points into vigor to tank as much damage as possible, 35 into mind, 40 into endurance, 11 into strength, 50 into dexterity for some damage, 11 into intelligence, 27 into faith to use golden vow, and 45 into arcane. Which, if you haven't noticed by now, means we're going to be doing some bleed shenanigans to compensate for our low damage. The thing is, throwing daggers don't exactly have the best status build-up. Thankfully, there exists an Ash of War that can outright quadruple the amount of knives we can toss, and the amount of status we can inflict. This Ash of War is called Scattershot, and is where most of our damage will come from. Though that's not all. We also have the Pierce Shot Ash of War to help with our pitiful range, and the new Smithing Talisman along with the Shard of Alexander to help boost our damage. Slap on the Dragon Crest Great Shield Talisman and the Two-Headed Turtle Talisman for some extra defense and stamina, and you're looking at the entire build. And best of all, you can acquire everything I've mentioned before fighting a single boss. With all of that said, let us commence. Buff. 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 Two-hand, let's go. Okay, the damage is okay for now. He's big enough that a lot of hits can hit him. Ouch. Easy. This battle was the first true test for this build. Considering how fast some of these bosses move around, my biggest concern was whether or not I would be able to land enough daggers to successfully proc bleed before they get the chance to begin their long combos. Thankfully, that was not the case, because my one and only tactic against the Dancing Lion was to spam Scattershot as much as possible and hope for a bleed. This strategy, if you can even call it that, proved to be very effective in part thanks to its large body. Up close, Scattershot eradicated this thing's health bar. Even at medium range, enough knives managed to connect to continuously stack bleed buildup to the point that the most difficult part of this fight was trying not to play too cocky. Nice, first try, okay. Much easier than I expected. But it might be due to his sheer size, so we'll see how stuff like Mesmer and the Twin Blade MILF does. So the Dancing Lion was pretty much kind of like a test run. This is going to be the real challenge here. Whether or not we can fight Ralana. Let's... What do I do here, huh? Hopefully she's thick enough so that the fans can hit her. Up next was Ralana. However, I knew my tactic of spamming Scattershot wasn't going to be as effective here because she simply isn't wide enough as the Dancing Lion. Meaning, I basically need to be touching her for Scattershot to be effective. Not to mention her attacks are not as well telegraphed compared to some of the other bosses, or rather, she's quite difficult to read on what move she'll do next. Despite beating her in 3 other playthroughs, I still can't predict her movements all that well. This girl hits fast, hard, and is too unpredictable for me to guess my openings. Pound for pound, she has me beat in all categories: damage, range, speed, skill, which is why I employed a new tactic going into this fight, a strategy that some may find questionable. Might just have to brute force this. That hit me, huh? That's right, my grand plan was to face tank and trade damage, hoping I would come out on top. This didn't necessarily mean I would let myself get hit each and every time. Rather, if I was close enough after a successful dodge, I would commit an attack well knowing she would counter it based on my position. Trading damage seemed to be the right call. With enough defensive buffs and my poise set to over 51, it meant I could just barely match her blow for blow. But this did mean playing a little too close for comfort. Oh, that's why you have 60 vigor. That's why you have 60 vigor. I need to trade this. Might have been a mistake. There we go. Down to the final flask. First try. Yeah, so tanking was just the better plan. Go for those trades and hope for the best. Ooh. My heart is pounding right now. I was really hoping that would work because I don't know what other strategy I would use to kind of counter her. So far, not so bad. Not so bad. Let's just hope this is the worst it gets. And to some extent, I was right. The next 2 bosses went down relatively painless. Bale, however, it did give me my first death of the run, but stood no chance against the shotgun blast that is Scattershot. The Scatter Tree avatar did require me to change my build just a bit, mainly by changing my damage type to fire instead of bleed, since it is immune to hemorrhage, just like every other tree-related enemy. Exploiting their large size was something I knew I can take advantage of, which is why I wanted to defeat them first before I tackled the harder bosses. By this point, a couple of things became apparent to me. The first being that against large enemies, Scattershot demands your respect. This thing shreds health bars, especially at close range. The second is that bleed is by far the best damage type. Even if I'm tickling my foes with my tiny knives from medium range, all that bleed buildup adds up if you can land a single scatter shot at close range. The Scatter Tree avatar did make me adapt, but it's not like anything changed much. The third is that I cannot trade blows with anything that isn't physical damage. Golden Vow plus the Dragon Crest Great Shield Talisman plus Boiled Crab can transform me into a resilient physical tank. But as soon as a second damage type hits the field, well, things get complicated. Rilana's second phase was a good example of this, and Bale's Lightning Flame was the wake-up call. I could always swap some talismans around for some more defense, but that leads to another problem: damage. If I can't defeat a boss well within a set amount of time, they will outright overwhelm me because my buffs do not last long enough to compete. It's already hard enough to land a barrage of knives. Trying to buff mid-fight, especially against the DLC bosses, is unheard of. You see, I still need to trade some hits whenever possible to make full use of all of my buffs. I rather take a hit when my defense and attack are much higher, and trade some damage now before later when their second phase begins. The camera is also my greatest enemy. Things are now moving much quicker, and my throwing knives can barely keep up. A single turn can mean a miss, and a miss is devastating. Speed is of the essence from here on out. Though lucky for me, Bale and the Scatter Tree avatar cannot escape my barrage of knives so easily. Mesmer, on the other hand, is all my fears put into one. So yeah, I'm more scared of his first phase than I am of his second. His second, his snake is like another hitbox, so it makes it so that his hitbox is kind of bigger. So what I'm gonna do is kind of want to put the flame talisman on right now, kind of negate that damage. I want to trade blows with him. He's a little too fast, so I think that's what I'm gonna do.
Just beat his first phase, and I think I got him. Oh.
So let me put it this way, Mesmer has fire and physical damage. He's thin, fast, and has delays on some of his attacks. He can cover large distances by jumping or throwing a spear. His attacks can block your vision, cover a large radius, and constantly stagger you if he chains heavy combos. Everything in this battle puts me at a disadvantage, which is why I need to be extremely cautious of his moves. One bad move and things get critical. Though as I stated earlier, I find a second phase much harder than a second one for one reason. If I can get to a second phase, then ideally I would be able to punish him rather easily because his snakes are so big and slow that Scattershot could carry me to victory. Though that's easier said than done.
Ooh, I needed to trade that. That was risky, but I think I got it. Oh, I should have just dodged. Oh, that was close. That was close. I should have dodged one more time. I forget he adds one more step to that move when he's in second phase. Oh, the delay. God damn it. Oh no, I messed up. Yeah, damn it.
On my fourth attempt, I knew something needed to change, but was too stubborn to do anything drastic. Instead, I simply chose to play more aggressively. This involved throwing an extra dagger at any opportunity I could, and utilizing the jump attack that was surprisingly effective against him, as it let me build bleed and get some distance between him before he does his next attack. I also attempted to throw back-to-back scatter shots, after realizing the second input happens very quickly. Getting him to his second phase proved my theory correct, as I had a much easier time dealing damage and hitting a snake. Before I knew it, I had him cornered, and all I needed to do was finish him.
Damn it. There we go. Whew.
America. A curse.
Like I said, his first phase is much harder than his second. How many was that? 4? 5? Not bad, not bad. Okay. Yeah, his snake... his snake is... is crazy. But it's his biggest weakness too.
Commander Gaius was just another bleed victim. I don't think this fight is particularly hard, but I find myself chasing after him more than actually fighting him. Despite having a large resistance against bleed, his boar's large stature made it possible to land multiple knives, making this very easy on me. Pair this with all of my physical defensive buffs, and this battle was barely an issue, though that didn't stop me from getting rammed multiple times. Oh, too early. Do I dodge backwards for that one? Oh, he comboed me. That was the big one. I think that was the first time he used that in that battle. Caught me off guard. I just didn't dodge. Nice. Second phase. Oh. Oh, I forgot it does that. I forgot it does that. Need to trade it? No, trade. Nice. Ooh. Meteor was a very similar story. Large enemies stand no chance against Scattershot. I think we all know that by now. I was more than happy to trade blows with her because she could not keep up with my constant barrage of knives. Despite both being able to use magic damage, the two could hardly break through my defense. Considering how much I struggled with some of these bosses first time around, it came as a surprise how easily I was chopping through them with a weapon that is typically considered mediocre. Scattershot and Bleed were doing most of the heavy lifting, but at no point did I ever feel like this was an impossible task.
I don't know how to dodge that. Oh, I got staggered so much. I think one of the little guys hit me at the end right there. I don't know how to dodge this. How do I dodge that thing? Holy bleed damage. Second try. Easy.
Bleed has been doing wonders for me all throughout this playthrough. But what happens when I can't rely on bleed damage, or a massive weak point like the Scatter Tree avatar? Where is my damage then? And is it even possible to beat the game, let alone a single boss? I could always swap to another status like Poison or Frostbite for some consistent damage. But there's a problem. You see, up next is the Putrescent Knight, and not only is it immune to hemorrhage, but also poison and frostbite. Status is completely useless against this thing, meaning raw damage is my only way of defeating this boss. But as we know, the damage of these daggers isn't anything to be proud of. A quick Google search tells me that the knight is weak to holy damage. That's a good start. The problem is holy scales off of faith, and my faith level is pretty low. On top of that, I only have 2 larval tiers left, so respecking is a massive investment that I want to save for when I really need it. Let's see how things go.
Horse, and you. I needed to trade that anyways. Get up. Jesus, it takes so long to get up. Oh. One more. Oh, I got greedy, I got greedy. Oh my god. I got greedy. Oh no. Ah. Oh. One more. One more. Oh, what a delay. What a delay. What a delay. One more. Chop. 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 Oh, the delay always gets me. Chop. 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 There we go. Whew. Whew. There we go. There we go. There we go. 3 tries. Had to switch to holy because the damage was not there for the bleed because I could not proc bleed. It switches its combo so fast. Or it doesn't switch the combos, it just goes on to the next combo so quickly. You can barely do anything. I can like barely poke it. Oh. That one's the hardest one yet.
The next 2 bosses were ones I was deeply afraid of, because they used my best tactic against me. Both Midra and Romina can inflict status on me. Midra can cause madness, while Romina can inflict scarlet rot. My tactic of trading blows wasn't going to work against them because 2 or 3 hits could put a stop to my run. Midra in particular can end a run if he manages to proc madness on you even once.
Ooh, I got cocky there. I'll take that trade. I'll take that trade as well. Oh, that was a grab attack. Playing sloppy. Easy. Ran out of stamina. Here, right here. Not too bad. Second try.
Romina, on the other hand, can extend fights in her favor. Scarlet Rot combined with her mobility can cause you to waste so much time if you're not prepared. Scarlet Rot is much easier to handle compared to Madness, since the effects aren't immediately dire, but chasing after her is still a problem, because staying close to her is my biggest advantage given her size.
Ooh, I don't even have a chance to react to that. Eat another crab? Maybe? I'll take that trade. It's over. Nice. Ooh.
Also, in case you're wondering, yes, the knives can stagger the furnace golems. It just takes a while. Now, something you may be asking yourself is how do the NPC battles go? Granted that using projectiles, no matter the type, all cause the NPCs to simply roll out of the way. The throwing knives were no different, sadly. Jump attacks proved to be a good reliable way to catch them off guard, though most fights were not hard, but still awful. Also, in case it wasn't obvious before, these knives weren't meant for fighting more than one enemy at a time. Trying to fight groups of enemies was simply not worth my time, and I avoided any situation that would put me in one. It's a good thing there isn't an NPC style gang fight that pits you against multiple enemies just before the final boss, right? Alright? Now, I'm not gonna lie, this is the hardest fight in the entire game, bar none so far. I know this is supposed to be a gimmick fight where you summon your allies against Leda and her allies and indulge in a tag team battle to the death, but in the spirit of trying to beat the entire DLC without using summons, excluding summoning Egon of course, because why would you not summon him? I had to go solo. 4 against 1 is so stupid. I already told you that NPC battles are horrible matchups for me. Combine this with a group battle, and this fight is both a long one and a terrible one. To say these guys beat me would be the understatement of the year. These guys devoured me whole. The next hour would be hell because I had no response. I was simply at a disadvantage the entire fight.
Oh. Why did you miss? Jesus. That's nice. How? I just need some distance. Why did you... Oh, the camera is so bad. Oh my goodness. I need to get rid of her. She is the biggest problem here. Uh-oh. Jesus.
I'm sorry for speaking to you as a compatriot.
Stop! Why is the camera moving like that? I need to kill you. You're annoying. Why does the camera do that?
After a while, I was ready to quit and summon help because I was not even close to finishing this fight. But before I caved in, I needed to try one more thing. A tactic I ignored until the very end because there were far better options. Poison is such a weird status condition because there are far better alternatives. Bleed is much better for upfront damage. Scarlet Rot is just a better version of poison. And Frostbite can debuff enemies and cause them to take more damage from all sources. To put it straight, poison is very situational and outclassed by almost everything. But in this case, it was my only way to reliably damage everyone since they can also heal. It took 2 point-blank scatter shots to inflict poison. After that, I would run around the arena and poke them whenever I could. It was a slow and cowardly tactic, but it was working. My only grace was that I forgot about more, saving me from a 5 versus 1.
Oh!
The world.
Oh, that was not fun. That was not fun.
We're finally here. The moment we've all been waiting for. Everything before was just a test run because the real challenge begins here. I think it's pretty safe to say that you cannot underestimate this fight, and for that reason, I came equipped with my secret weapon. Now before I said I invested 27 points into Faith for Golden Vow. However, Golden Vow only requires 25 points into Faith, so what exactly are the 2 extra points for? Well, allow me to introduce to you Lord's Divine Fortification, a spell that increases my holy damage negation by 60% and lasts a whopping 70 seconds. I also made sure to grab the Golden Braid Talisman that grants me another 22% damage negation to holy. This may seem like overkill, but trust me when I say it's most definitely not, because this boss, specifically his second phase, is a holy nightmare. Radon is tough to say the least. A single mistake is catastrophic, but after hours of practice with him on previous runs, I feel very confident in taking him down using one of the worst weapons in the game.
Good damage. Okay. Lord's Purification. Heal. There we go. Uh-oh. Heal. Heal. Good bleed. Good ass bleed. Okay. Run. Lords. This? That's fine. Uh-oh. I'm dead. Oh, look at that. Oh, that rock sling kind of messed me up so bad. If it weren't for the rock sling he did right there, I think I would have had it. It broke my chain. I got confused right there. That's fine. significant damage. Run out FP. Perfect. Crap, crap. Oh, I'm dead, I'm dead, I'm dead, I'm dead, I'm dead. Ooh. Ah, ha, 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 ha. Even closer the second time. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is 6. Oh my god, that... I shouldn't have done that. Oh, you messed me up. Damn it. I hate when he doesn't do the halo thing right at the start. Jesus Christ, man. No, the wrong flask. Ah, I hate doing the wrong flask. Oh, it's over. Did you see that? It tripped me. Oh my god, it tripped me. Do this.
After about an hour of trying, I took a step back to readjust myself. It became very apparent that this challenge is very possible. Problem is, I need just a second of breathing room to apply my buffs during his second phase. Normally, I would buff myself before I enter an arena, where it's safe. However, I now need to find a way to apply Lord's Divine Fortification midway through the battle. It's already difficult trying to find an opportunity to heal, so trying to cast a spell on the other hand seems impossible without a summon. Actually, there is one tiny window of opportunity to apply a buff that looks completely crazy. When Radon is about to cast Light of Mikola, he will float into the air, giving you a chance to run away. Except, I don't want to run away. Instead, I want to use this opportunity to cast my own spell and tank the hit. The thing is, whether or not you will perform this move depends entirely on your position, but you can manipulate your chances at the beginning of a second phase, if you know where. Not too far, but not too close. That's the best explanation I can give, though it's imperative I cast this spell immediately given the chance because I will not survive his barrage of attacks once they begin. What's more is that if I can guess correctly if he is about to perform this spell, I can squeeze in another Golden Vow, further boosting my offense and defense. But it's risky, and involves a third input to heal afterwards. If I can get both my buffs active on my character before the second round truly begins, then the fight drastically changes in my favor. It's still not easy, but the difference is night and day.
Oh, it's over. Oh. I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make it. Yes! Ooh. We did it! Oh, we did it! And it only took an hour and a half. Victory chug. Victory chug.
And there you have it, the entire Shadow of the Erdtree expansion beat only using throwing daggers. The journey was fairly easy, until the very end of course. Do I still think they need a buff? Oh, absolutely. Without Scattershot, this run would be over before it even began. If you enjoyed the video, remember to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.